We're going to take this video clip and slow it down by 400% while retaining its 25 frame per second frame rate. We're also going to take this 24 frame per second clip and convert it to a 60 frame per second clip in Video Enhance AI. The Chronos AI model in Video Enhance AI allows you to adjust the playback speed of your video clips, letting you slow them down by up to 2000%, as well as independently adjusting the frame rate in case you need to conform the video clips to your project requirements or you want to get that smoother motion at higher frame rates. So let's take a look at how you can do that. First, under the AI model selector, click on the All tab and then scroll down to select the Chronos Slow-Mo FPS conversion model. There are two settings that I want to point out that make up this model. The first is the slow motion dropdown. This is where you're going to select the rate at which you want to slow down your video clip. If you select 100%, that means that you don't want to slow it down at all, and it'll output at the same playback speed as the original clip. And then you've got the options to slow down by 150% all the way to 2000%. The other setting that I want to highlight is under the video format section, and it's called Out FPS. And this is where you'll specify the frame rate for your output file. By selecting it, you'll see a variety of frame rate options from 23.98 frames per second all the way to 120 frames per second. So let's say I want to convert this video to 60 frames per second. I'll just select it. You'll see that the original frame rate is 25 frames per second, and now the output frame rate will be 60 frames per second. But in this video example, we just want to slow things down. We don't want to adjust the frame rate. So if you want to restore the original clip's frame rate, just click on this icon here and it'll bring it back. So let's say that I want to slow this video clip by 400%. I'll click on the dropdown and I'll select 400% from the menu. And what I like to do is do a preview before I commit the process. So I have a 20 frame preview selected over here, and I'm going to click the preview button over here to generate the preview. And now you can see the results of the Chronos AI model slowing down the footage by 400%. And if you're happy, click on close to close the preview, and then you can click on the start processing button to begin processing the entirety of this clip. Now let's take a look at another video clip where we don't want to adjust the playback speed, but we want to convert the frame rate. The first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that your slow motion setting is back to 100% so that we don't actually adjust that playback speed. At 100%, the output file playback speed will match the original clip. But we do want to adjust the output frame rate. So under the Out FPS dropdown, we're going to change it from the original 23.98 frames per second to 60 frames per second. And like before, we'll click Preview to create a 20 frame preview. And now we can see the smoother footage at 60 frames per second on the right. If you're happy with the results, click Close, and then click on Start Processing to process the entire clip. Now let's talk about a few things to keep in mind when selecting the clips to put through Chronos for slow motion. Let's take a look at this clip here of a strawberry being dropped into a cup of water. In video clips, if you have an object that's moving extremely fast from frame to frame, it might be difficult for the Chronos AI model to interpolate those frames. So let's take a look at the frames of the strawberry falling down. So as we go from frame to frame, you can see that huge jump in just one frame. And in those situations, it might be difficult for the Chronos AI model to interpolate. So just be careful when you are selecting your clips. Another factor that can impact the output of a slow motion video is frame rate. So in this case here, the video project that I'm working on is set to 30 frames per second, but the source clip was filmed at 23.98 frames per second. And if I output this, while the jitter effect might not be totally noticeable, it will be amplified when you slow your video down. So it's important to ensure that your source clips and your project timelines are conformed together. And one of the best ways to do that is to use the frame rate conversion of Chronos to convert this 23.98 frame per second source clip to 30 frames per second so that it conforms to the project timeline.